Hi friends, I'm Prairie Vintage. My name is Linda. I'm an energy intuitive reader here on YouTube. I use spirit and my intuition and the tarot to communicate energies to you guys, beautiful viewers. Today's reading coming out a little late, but we will be taking a look at what you are not consciously aware of. Now, this could be something that is in your subconscious, something about you, or something about your current situation that you're not consciously aware of due to something going on inside of yourself that you might not be aware of. Or maybe you intuitively know, and if you're highly intuitive, you might be very well aware of it, but acting out of a subconscious place, maybe not acting on your intuition for the greatest highest good. So this is a reading for healing. So I do want to put the caveat out there that sometimes healing is painful. My goal, intentions always to deliver the energy as I see it and communicate what I see and feel to the best of my ability using human language. But if this is not something that makes you feel good at all, or you're not ready to hear it, then this reading might not be for you, okay? Though keep in mind that if you are on the healing journey, that you might have to work through discomfort in some aspects, and this might be one of them, okay? Only you know that. If it feels like you're forcing it, don't force it. There's lots of readers on YouTube that will give other types of readings that might be more in line with what you're needing to hear, okay? But I am asking Spirit to deliver a message here of something that you're not actively acting on, that you might not be seeing fully, okay? And you could be getting in your own way, or like I said, it could be an external situation that you're not acknowledging or seeing something here for what it is. So more than ever, use your own intuition for what you will see, feel, or hear during this reading, because I cannot confirm that this message is for you. Only you will know using your intuition. It could just be, like I said, a feeling, or you can literally hear or see something that you know indeed it is your message. As always, all three piles could certainly be significant if you are drawn to all three. Maybe you're drawn to two, or there could just not be a message for you if it's not your reading. Now, I do pick up energy around you. So if this sounds like someone that is in your energy field, it could certainly be more clarity and understanding regarding a certain individual or a circumstance that is around you energetically that is pulling through because it's taking up a lot of your energy, or just significant right now as you tap into this reading. So it might not be you directly, although that is my intention. So enough with the caveats. I'm going to pull 3 cards, and we're going to do 3 options here. You're going to pick whichever card you are feeling called to. Like I said, if it's all 3, then it's all 3. If you are drawn to the back side of any one of these, feel free to select. The timestamp will be in the description box and in the pinned comment, 1, 2, 3. Although we will flip these over and reveal them for those of you guys needing a little bit more guidance. But yeah, if you can select this way, go ahead, and we will flip them over now. So for pile 1, your option 1 here is 34 with passion. So we have the frequency of passion, reminds us that beneath every intense emotion lies the hidden gem of insight, balance, and calm. It assists us in finding the balance within this intensity, moving us from chaos to the calm of its core, where we can let its long-lasting wisdom fill us up. Wow, very powerful. I was going to say very passionate, that indeed. Also number 7. We have change here, number 12. The frequency of change supports our ability to gracefully dance with the forever changing nature of reality, both inward and outward, so that we can appreciate the sweet release of the old and birth of the new. This one's speaking to me a lot. Sorry, I should probably not energetically point you in a direction. Could certainly be my pile, but beautiful energy. So this is number 3. 7th house is all about relationships, marriage, contracts, equality, sharing. And the 3rd house is all about the mind, thinking, communication. Could be siblings, interests, neighbors, education, that sort of stuff. Doesn't have to be the whole reading, but that's kind of how we might be seeing it. 3 is also mind, body, spirit. And some of you guys might be resonating with a life path 7. If that's calling out to you, you might be drawn to that. Now, the third option here you have is Gaia, earth energy. Number 28. I am called to read 82 as well for some of you guys. That is the number 10. The frequency of Gaia reminds us that we are infinitely connected to one another, just as we are to our great mother and to the universe that birthed us all. Wow, very deep. Okay, I'm going to let the video run here so that you don't get that bar across the bottom when you pause it, although feel free to pause if you need more time or rewind and focus in on whichever one calls to you, and I will see you at your pick. Hello, my beautiful pick number 1, passion group. Number 34, the frequency of passion reminds us that beneath every intense emotion lies the hidden gem of insight, balance, and calm. It assists us in finding the balance within this intensity, moving us from chaos to the calm of its core, where we can let its long-lasting wisdom fill us up. Beautiful. So we're looking at what are you consciously maybe not aware of that might be holding you up. It's your next step kind of in your healing, or at least the greatest thing here that Spirit is wanting to bring to your attention, because I did call for a part of you that might be resisting something that you might need to see here. And it could be in a situation, circumstance right now in your life, or just a part of yourself internally that needs to be resolved. It could be an ongoing thing, but whatever the biggest holdup is here. Now, if you are intuitive, you might already know. You might be avoiding or just not addressing for whatever reason that might come up. And like I mentioned in the intro, this could be picking up energy around you. So it could be talking about a specific situation or somebody in your energy field that's being picked up here. So I don't know, only you can tell. So lean in on your intuition. What will you see, feel, or hear during this reading that will confirm to you this is your reading? All right. So trigger warning, if it feels uncomfortable, it could just mean it is what you need to hear in order to stretch yourself to grow. If it feels wrong and doesn't fit and you don't want to hear it, then chances are you're not your reading, or you're not ready to hear the message, and that's absolutely fine as well. All right. So let us take a look. I have pre-shuffled these oracle cards. I've not looked at them. Let's see what we see. We have the Trilogy of Light. Interesting. I'm getting the number 3, which was the second option. So if you were pulled to both, it could very well, there's a message in there for you. Mind, body, spirit, getting aligned, balance. I just heard connecting to spirit. Makes sense. All right. So we have older man, dealings or relationship with an older man. Now, I don't necessarily take the exact word for word. It's more the energy that I'm getting here. So we got older man. Could be someone more experienced here. Masculine energy. We have crown. Honor and respect will come to you. Wow. Okay. Let me put that there. I don't know how much room we need, but I will shove them down here. We have 61 or 7, number 7 coming out again, support team. 2 minds are better than 1, 3 minds are better than 2, and 4 minds are unstoppable. Interesting. Okay. We have 74 with increase. You have successfully manifested something near and dear to your heart. It's also number 11. 11 is a destined number. Increase. Okay. I'm getting solar plexus and sacral chakra from the colors that I'm seeing here, with the yellows and the oranges. Wolf, more orangey yellow color. Wolf. This is earth energy, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. I see a lot of fire here as well, so you might be resonating with Aries, Leo, Sag. Take that as confirmation for some of you guys. Okay, we have horse, more earth energy. Psychic energies coming through very strong. powerful energy. Freedom is important. I'm also picking that up. Telepathic abilities to communicate telepathically. Third eye activation. Okay. We have companionship. Giving someone your complete presence is an astonishing gift. Look at the two elephants. And there we have a dragonfly, which is seeing through illusions, using our third eye to see through illusions, see the truth of situations. More birds, which are freedom. Well, these are swifts. And birds could represent people and communication as well. And we're seeing lots of blue. Blue is all a throat chakra. Okay, companionship. We have surrender, stubbornness. If you're tensing up or taking a rigid stance about something, gently observe yourself and become more yielding. This will help you communicate more lovingly with others and yourself, just as I started talking about throat chakra and communication. Okay, this is giving me 1930s flapper, even though it isn't, but it looks like a flapper from the 1930s or 1920s. Okay. We have surrender, denial. Accept people and situations exactly as they are without denying the difficulties. Then you can see things clearly and make the best decisions. Blindfolded. We have indecision. I use my intuition in all aspects of life. Intuition. Decisions, indecision. Okay. And we have the uncharted sea, number 46, or the number 10. Emotions, the ocean of emotion, navigating. There we have a pelican, or no, sorry, is it a pelican? What is the bird that delivers the news? Yeah, pelican. Stork, sorry, not a pelican. Pelicans have the different beaks. So we have the stork here sitting at the helm of this ship with a star kind of hanging there and navigating. We have a compass here as well with direction. Okay, the uncharted sea. And here we have trust with the blue, again giving me throat chakra and emotion as well. Trust with the heart in the center. Okay, let us pull two tarot cards to sort of get a little bit of tarot on the table, but I'm just going to slide these slightly over for you so we can get them in frame. Oops. Okay. So Spirit, clear and concise message for pick number 1. Thank you so, so much. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile 1. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, pile 1, for allowing me to tap into your energy. I am truly blessed. Thank you so, so much. All right, we are asking about what does pile 1 need to be conscious of? What do they need to be made aware of that they're currently not seeing or need to heal in order to progress, in order to see more clear about themselves or the situation in which they're at? Thank you so much. We have 8 of Pentacles, and that's more earth energy. And we have the Queen of Cups. That's water energy. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Earth is Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. Queen of Cups in reverse. Okay. Reverse or upright? Okay, I'm going to leave them in reverse as it came out. Lots going on here. So I'm going to do my best to deliver, and sometimes the message might make more sense kind of as we get more into it. So let me unravel what is going on here. Okay, what I'm getting quite strong here is you are quite independent, but I feel as though you are a soul that really values family and friends and groupings and, you know, having trust in a support team of people. And it's usually family or friends. Family and friends you would die for. Your soul tribe, your family. I feel that matters to you, but I feel there's this independence about you even within this that is very independent. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with being independent at all. I feel that is very freeing to you. But I feel like there's something here talking about you not being able to explore a certain side of you when it comes to opening yourself up to some sort of like being vulnerable or allowing yourself to be exposed in an intimate sort of way. And I don't mean sexual, or just intimate, right? Like when we're vulnerable, when we're exposed, when we are our authentic self with another, we might feel we have to depend on how something pans out in a way, and it leaves us feeling like we can't maybe control a situation, or just uncomfortable for whatever reason. There's something here about it being easier doing it alone, or you being able to count on yourself seems easier to ride, I guess, or easier to count on, if you will. Now, I feel like what Spirit is saying here that needs to come to your conscious awareness that is holding you back is a whole side of you that I think you have not been able to explore because you might feel out of your depths, and it makes you not as confident in yourself, and it might cause a lot of indecision in your life. And this doesn't have to be romantic. It could just be anytime there's other people involved. We hesitate. We don't decide. We feel like we might be let down by others, or now it's out of our control because others have to show up, or they must do something, and we're at the mercy of what the something is. So we might shift from anything that requires emotions and vulnerabilities and intimacies, and we shift it to practical things. How much time can I spend at work? How can I focus on work? How can I put more time into my hobbies? How can I, spend more time doing practical things here, whatever it is, work around the house, whatever this is, painting, hobbies, whatever it is that you're using here as a thing to focus on is sort of a distraction, even if it is something healthy. Because I mean, work, you can see it as healthy, unhealthy, depending what you consider work, but because you could enjoy it or just be doing it to kind of pay the bills. But I feel like there's something you're doing here which you probably love to do, but it's not a balanced energy that I'm feeling here, because I feel there's an untapped side of you here with this passion and this manifesting something near and dear to your heart. I feel like the full depth of your manifestations have yet to be revealed, have yet to be tapped into, have yet to be navigated, have yet to be explored upon. And I do feel for some of you guys, you might have had delivery of this, because I feel you've been manifesting this, but I feel as though you haven't been able to explore this. So there is something here about needing to align all parts of your aspect of self, so much so where you find balance in yourself that there is no longer a disconnect from allowing yourself freely to intimately engage with other people, counting on them in different ways, seeing through your own limitations. Here it says stubbornness, but I'm more concerned with how it's saying to communicate effectively. So if we feel let down by others, or what we need in way of others to show up, we need to be honest to communicate it so that we can avoid any sort of letdowns, because most people, mostly, who love us don't want to hurt us, don't want to let us down, right? Although we don't need to depend on other people to bring us happiness. Most people in our life who we want around us, who we consider family and friends, if we communicate truths that are stemmed from an authentic place, genuinely, the other side is going to want to listen and do their very best to honor this. But if we don't communicate, where we might be fearing, or what we might not want to experience out of fear of being exposed, or this person using it against us in some capacity or some way, they might do so unintentionally in some way, or just we become very hyper aware of anything that kind of seems like that. So I think instead of accepting people for how they are in situations as they are freely, so that you can make decisions, I think you avoid it altogether. That means avoiding the situation, the person, the whatever you need to do here, because it's easier to sit indecisive or not decide, and you can make an excuse for it. Just, that's not my whatever, I don't want to do that, I'd rather do this, this is more for me, I'm not feeling this, whatever the cover up is here. But I feel like there is a sense of denial, and you might be aware that you're doing it. Maybe you say, well, whatever, the single life for me, but you're just avoiding intimacy or deep relationships or connecting with people on a level here. So Spirit is saying that there's a deep love within you that is able to explore the depths of how deep you're able to love and receive love. But the only way you could ever experience in this lifetime the deepest form of love from another is allowing yourself to feel it from yourself. And until you can explore this, we're now cut off. So that means we're cut off. Now we cannot receive that from another in life to fully experience what this is like. So there's a need to trust, but I think it really stems from communicating what we're feeling and why we might feel a need to pull away, or why we sit indecisive, or why we are choosing something to focus on. But I think the communication comes with first communicating to ourselves. Because if we're sitting in some sort of state of in denial of sorts, or not being honest with ourselves about why we're doing something completely, because it's not visible to us, it's not like we're choosing to lie to ourselves, but we haven't uncovered the real reason why, which is all what this reading is about. How can we communicate to another? So once we become aware of it within ourselves, and we say, yeah, maybe I do focus a lot of time on work, because then I would feel a sense of loneliness in some way. And then instead of saying, well, I just choose work versus whatever, maybe your spouse. Why is that? Because that would put you in a vulnerable space to have to ask yourself questions, right? So there is a calling here to explore a deeper part of your emotions with another, however this is. Be it romantic, be it just whatever stage you're at, because some people never get past even making good friends. They never get past letting anyone in, right? Or they might have a lot of friends that get to a certain level, or maybe they have a lot of relationships, but then they hit whatever wall, whatever point is your point. And I feel there is a point here where you can't penetrate past this or manifest past that until you recognize. And so what I really feel is the synergy of people coming together can build an entity on itself. Like you're able to create something on your own, two people can create something even more magnificent. And if they're able to do that, other people can learn from that and build something greater yet. Two minds better than one, three minds are better than two, and four minds are unstoppable. And what this is talking to me about is bringing peace on earth, healing on earth. So it's a bigger vision here of, if I'm able to surrender to a deeper love, if I'm able to surrender where my fears are, if I'm able to open up in a way that allows me to love the deepest here for myself and allow another to explore this, this is contagious to the world. This is an unstoppable energy. This is the truest love. This is an unconditional love, despite fears. So I was feeling here a strong sense of freedom, like I said, but I feel like there is an intuitive knowing here, I feel, of who you can trust and who you can't trust. So do you trust yourself enough to know who you can and cannot? Because I think what I'm getting from this is once you really learn that you can trust yourself, there is no more fear because you're selecting the people you can open up to and not. And so at a point in your life where maybe the third eye was not developed, aka when you're a child, I mean, third eye might be developed, but kind of in more an innocent way where we're not as experienced to make sense of things so much. Again, sometimes the mind gets in the way and maybe we know less than we did as a child. But what I'm trying to get at is when that third eye wasn't as developed in really selecting who is worthy of us taking a chance or exploring something and who is not, then I could see the fear getting in the way because we don't want to chance having an experience that we might have experienced in the past. But I feel what Spirit is saying is if you feel like you're still developing this intuition, which I feel you have, then learn to lean in on your intuition and trust your third eye to be able to see truths about other people that makes you then trust in your decision to become vulnerable, to expose yourself in a way that you might not have been able to do before, as my cat meows. So I feel with the older man talking about experience, and I feel this is divine masculine energy that I'm feeling. I feel like there is comfort here in what Spirit is saying is that your experience and seeing through illusions greater than you have in the past by using your intuition allows you to select the people and the situations in which you are able to open up. Trust yourself to know the difference. Trust yourself to know the difference. Okay. And you don't have to be navigating like a lone wolf forever, which I feel is important to you. But I also was feeling here, like I mentioned at the beginning of the reading, there was a connectedness you feel to the pack, to family, to tradition, to soul family, to building some sort of family structure. And so I feel like these two are at odds because in order to build family structure and soul family, we have to come from a complete vulnerable state. I'm really getting here coming into full balance within the divine masculine. This is someone who is fully balanced within their masculine energy in a healthy way, that is not fearing vulnerability, that is not fearing communication, that is open to their intuition. And I mean, everyone has masculine, feminine energies here. Okay. And when I talk intuition, that's more the upper chakras, which is attributed more to feminine energy than it is to masculine. So it could certainly be a masculine who has not developed the other side, which is the feminine. Crown chakra is upper chakra too, which is divine feminine. So are we a divine masculine who is stuck in the surface, or are we experienced enough to be in tune with third eye and crown chakra? And we see the purple here, which is all the third eye and crown chakra. Enough to be in tune with the divine, enough for us to be able to communicate what we intuitively feel and not second guess ourselves, really. And then when we second guess ourselves, we start to second guess decisions that we have to make. So I feel like maybe this is getting louder and louder for you, because with this increase, I feel you've manifested something. There's been a delivery of something of sorts, I feel here. I feel there's something you're passionately feeling here. I'm going to pull a little bit more tarot to see if we could just get a little bit more here in regards to what this is about. So I'm not sure if you're blinded by passion or if you're balanced by this passion. Yeah. Are we only acting out of passion, or are we using our higher chakras here, like our third eye and our crown chakra, in order to tap into a greater truth and our throat chakra? Okay, or are we stuck in, yeah, that's interesting, because I'm getting a lot of higher chakras from the bottom row. And like I said at the beginning, I was getting sacral and solar plexus and even root here with the red, which is a lot of the lower chakras, more physical, which is more divine masculine. So are we acting out of our sacral root? Are we balanced? Do we know? And the way you would know is, are you trusting your intuition to who you can kind of bet on? Because chances are you'd probably get it right. And what I mean by bet on is who you can open up to in a way that allows you to be vulnerable, to make decisions without hesitation. Because I feel there is something here about companionship, okay? Again, does not have to be romantic. We could be wherever we're at, with friends, like I said, family even. We might keep family out. So I'm going to ask Spirit here for further information, further clarity here for pile 1 in regards to this reading specifically. What sort of clarity are they needing? What are they not consciously aware of and need to be made aware of the most right now to find the healing they need in their current situation or in their life at this moment, right here, right now? 3 of Cups. Okay, lots of information coming through. This is opening heart space. Okay, this is being very intimate, and we could be intimate with a lover, or we could be intimate with our friends, but it comes from a genuine place. 4 of Cups in reverse. This is the boredom card. Now it is in reverse. This is an energy here of not being into it, not opening our heart space, being focused on what is not going to work, or maybe, you know, being disappointed and thinking we may be disappointed, so we don't act or we don't receive love. And we got the 9 of Pentacles in the reverse. Hyper independence, which I was getting from the wolf, which is not healthy. This is healthy. Independence, being secure, being able to stand on our own, you know, being single, free. We can build our empire for ourselves and we don't need to depend on anybody. This is hyper independence, okay? My way or the highway. And it stems from a fear of something else that's going on deeper than that. Because if we start to identify hyper independence as freedom, we are no longer free. We are now at the mercy of some fear and some subconscious driver that has us hostage. Because we can no longer explore a deep sense of love here for ourselves to the greatest capacity because of our fear. And we might not see this as fear, but there's a fear here. Because we're hanging on to a hyper independence for a reason, which is stemmed from some sort of fear. Fear of being intimate, a fear of being exposed, a fear of being let down, a fear of some sort of reveal of something here. Okay, so only you will know what this is, because for all of you guys it's different. But I'm getting hyper independence here with the lone wolf and this 9 of Pentacles. But back to this can mean very surface relationships as well. So we get to friendship, we have maybe dates we're on, other people we're on, we keep them at an arm's length, and we never experience a deep sense of love. Okay, 3 of Cups. This could be very surface, but this is opening our heart space, being able to be genuine. You know, when we go out with our friends, we're not trying to, unless of course we're not their true authentic friend, we're not trying to one up them or make them feel bad. We want them to feel at home. We enjoy drinks and food and partying and celebrations with our friends, and we feel at home and we feel like our heart space is open, but it only goes so deep. We can then have true intimacy with another, and then there's another layer, which is true intimacy with self. And I feel like you're removed from intimacy with self, and I feel like you're at this stage, to be honest. So I feel like not only have you maybe experienced true intimacy with another, like on a one-on-one, but I feel like you haven't experienced true intimacy within yourself. So in order to experience intimacy with another, we need to be truly intimate with ourselves. So that would stand to reason we don't see the Two of Cups or the Ace of Cups here. We see the Three of Cups. So I think this is kind of where you fall short. And if you're aware of this, and if this is resonating for you, then we ask ourselves, why can we not share with another? It's because we cannot then, and when I say share, I mean intimacy, like be completely authentic and visible and exposed, is because we can't expose our own shadows to ourselves. Okay, so we're comfortable keeping it light, keeping things kind of in this sort of Three of Cups sort of energy. And I feel that represented here by this Four of Cups is exactly what I was feeling here, not able to, with the Ace of Cups, be vulnerable with self. The Ace of Cups is all about self-love, giving ourselves the love we need. And once we tap into that, see how it's highlighted by this bright light? It's like we're then enlightened because we know how to give ourselves love, to be vulnerable, to be exposed, to recognize this. We're not taking that cup. But once we discover how to really truly be vulnerable with self and expose all of the parts of us that have been hurt, or that are like whatever, focusing on that Eight of Pentacles, right? Or hobbies or careers or whatever we're doing on a day in, day out basis, and being completely honest with us and saying, yeah, I choose this. I choose to be independent. But are we choosing independence, or are we choosing this hyper independence avoidance? My way or the highway. I don't get close and I start to become like this. And what I'm doing here is focusing on what's not going to work, because I might get disappointed. So I'm going to stay here with my Three of Cups. I'm going to sit here with my, light relationships, which could be significant. But I feel until you experience an Ace of Cups or a Two of Cups, this is very surface, okay? Your friends can only go so deep, or these connections, or this dating, or this, however you're treating your family here at some sort of Three of Cups. It's only so deep. And I feel there's a fixed energy here hovering around a Three of Cups, not allowing oneself to fully embrace this Ace of Cups. So hyper independence, and I don't know where this is stemmed from. And for a lot of you guys, this is stuff that's come with you either through childhood, through many lifetimes, through an experience in this lifetime, a whole bunch of things. And it doesn't really matter so much as at what point you're carrying it, so much as being aware of it and then shining light on it. Because in order to heal, we just need to be made aware of it, shine our light on it, so then we can question, are we being completely vulnerable and authentic? Or are we sitting indecisive and denying ourselves true depth of emotions and experience because we're fixated on some hyper independence that's causing more harm? And I feel you're a very passionate person. I still don't know exactly how this passion comes out in it. I will pull one card here for the passion. I'm going to put these back to see why this passion is here, and then I will pull some sort of final guidance here. Why? I'll be right back. All right, I'm sorry about that. I thought my answering machine was going to pick up. So, yeah, I was going to pull a card here for the passion, because it's here for a reason, and I know you're a passionate person. I can feel that even with the wolf, with the horse. Maybe you're very passionate about, and that could be the energy that you're not consciously aware of, that you feel like you're driven by passion. So you might even be telling yourself that what you are doing in this hyper independence is all driven by this passion, which I don't know. I don't know that this passion is directed in the right way, to be honest with you. I mean, you could direct passion however you want, but you could be passionately pursuing your work, passionately pursuing things that are covering up something that I feel and is your birthright to explore. Okay. But I feel like this passion, yeah, might just be getting in the way of how you're navigating that passion, how you're, let's say, appointing the passion, but more like pointing it, which direction you're pointing this passion to. Okay, why is passion here, Spirit? Temperance. Yeah, that is all about, well, tempering a situation is how do we temper our passion? How do we find a balance? This is also the healing card, and this is a healing reading. So in order to heal yourself fully, it's how do we take the passion within us, the passion we feel for that hyper independence, or the passion we're feeling for what we're putting our energy into, the work, the whatever it is, which is great, because at least you're using that as an outlet, but that's a distraction of sorts. It's now coming out in a different form. It's manifesting differently, which you might think is enough or good. But I think until you experience what we're talking about with the emotions, it's on a completely different level. So how do we take this passion and be like an alchemist to manifest something in our life that we can see? We have to come with taking our passion and taking maybe whatever other parts of us, our fears, our known shadows, mixing this together to make something that is cohesive and balanced. So now when we show up, we represent ourselves and put out into the world something more authentic to who we are. Now we show up as a healed person. Now when people are around us, they don't feel like there's some sort of held backness, or that you don't fully trust them, or that you know, because people around you might feel like you're maybe removed. They might feel like you are blocked in some way, right? Maybe they've told you this, maybe they haven't, because maybe they don't want to communicate this, but maybe you could feel it within yourself some way if you're intuitive. But I feel like when you're able to alchemize your passion in a way that comes from, that balances out with your emotions, you then become a balanced, healed version of yourself who can then experience something on a complete different level. And it becomes much more balanced. Mind, body, soul, masculine, feminine, integrated. You elevate, you ascend, you become a greater version of yourself. You do healing in this world. You're able to work with people on all sorts of levels because they can understand you, and they feel like if you can't trust other people, then that means something about you not trusting yourself. And you might say, well, and I trust myself. I don't think so. Because if you trusted yourself, you would trust your intuition to know that you know who to trust and who not to. That you would not need to understand that person fully before you have to be shown in the material world whether you can be yourself or not. You would just intuitively know, I can trust this person. I could be myself. I can give of myself. Because I trust that I can pick the right people in my life, my soul tribe, my support team. That if I can feel this person is off, I don't go there with them. I don't learn lessons I have already learned in my life or lifetimes. I'm experienced. I'm being fed by the divine with this great power of intuition. Okay, but not balanced right now. I feel like there's a need to bring the passion. The passion is there. But I feel like when it comes to the emotions, so this would mean having to work on the heart chakra for sure. All chakras should get looked at, but I feel like there could be trapped energies in the sacral chakra. And also I feel focusing on the solar plexus, because that is how do we direct those energies, the passion. If we're stuck in our sacral, we start to value things kind of in a physical way, but it, you know, it needs to be navigated in the solar plexus in a healthy way. So maybe instead of focusing it on work, or like I said, Eight of Pentacles is kind of giving me busybody, or whatever you're manifesting and doing here in the real world is kind of your outlet of this passion. And we're neglecting a whole side of us, which is the deep emotion side. And that is also in our sacral chakra, our emotions. A lot of ego could be there as well. Jealousy and insecurities. Why is it there? Right? So there's lots of chakra work that you can look at online. If you're already aware of this, then take this as confirmation. And if you're in denial of this, it could be that there is some truth here if it resonates in some way that you're not wanting to see, or maybe you never seen it this way. So just be open. Be open to, I don't want to plant seeds in your head, but be open to there, maybe you not knowing the answer, right? Maybe someone else is more enlightened than you in some way, or maybe there is multiple truths here. But I think the only way maybe you might know that this resonates is, have you really been fully able to let go and experience the depth of true unconditional love here? Do you find yourself more indecisive? Do you find yourself questioning people's authenticity or how they will show up, or being disappointed by other people, or not really caring to be around people so much because you're more in the Four of Cups? I don't really want to go. I don't really want to engage. Right? And I'm not saying everyone has to be these social creatures, but why are we blocked off like that? Because we can push ourselves by being around other people, the people that push us to the greatest version of us, that ascend with us. We don't have to hang out with people that are not in our vibe, right? Then we feel out of place. But remember, you intuitively know who you connect with and who you don't. So pick those people and then allow yourself to experience the joy, this whole side of you that hasn't been explored, because it's beautiful and it brings you into balance. Okay, pile number 1. I know this has been a long reading. I hope that helped, and I love you guys very much. I think I'm going to pull, though, advice, because I did mention that, and advice is coming in way of a crystal. Okay, so this crystal may help. This color may help. And if you don't have this crystal, you can certainly go pick one up, or just cut out a picture on the internet if you want to stare at it. Put it under your pillow, put it in your room if you want, or wear this color. However you can connect to it. Best thing is to get the crystal, but I mean, I don't know what your circumstances are, but we're going to ask Spirit for some guidance here, some healing guidance from the crystals, the crystal grid pack, and what is going to help beautiful pile number 1. Ooh, fluorite. So yeah, we have fluorite with organization, clear, and priorities, and it looks like this. I wish I had my fluorite here. I do not. It doesn't really completely look like that, but there are purples and blues in it, or purples and greens. That is interesting, because we were seeing the purple here with the crown chakra and intuition, and then the green is all about heart. Okay, the heart space. So I feel like you're needing to have a balanced heart, but in your sacral, like we talked about, is where the emotions could be sitting with egos, where we're driven. So we look at our sacral and then we open up our heart. Okay, so the heart isn't fully open right now, but we can continue to focus on ourselves. So we have here organization, clear, and priorities. Structure can provide freedom. Interesting, freedom. And fluoride helps organize your life from top to bottom, heightening focus and releasing unnecessary stress. Fluorite assists with bringing clarity into your life, lifting your mental capabilities for crystal clear intuition, kept coming through, and empowered decision making by taking your discernment up a notch. Fluorite protects against bad influences and psychic manipulation. Fluorite both grounds and lifts your energy, connecting your body to the earth and to higher spiritual awareness, crown chakra, at the same time. Prioritize balance with the temperance. Capricorn, Pisces, and Mercury. Mercury is Gemini and Virgo, and also all about communication with Mercury, okay, and thought. So this is what it looks like. What was coming through pile 1, interesting, because this was indecision as a whole. So if, let's say, for whatever reason, it is not trusting other people, you might have challenge making decisions as a whole. You might be an indecisive person. Oh, there goes my email confirming. So if you're an indecisive person, it is stemming from your inability to be clear. And you can empower yourself to make clearer decisions. There's a block right now. And third eye was coming up very strongly. So I feel like if you trust yourself and develop your third eye, you then trust people and situations for you to make decisions clearer. Yes, balance with the temperance. And I certainly feel as though you're developing your psychic awareness right now. So hence why all this information was coming through your reading. Take whatever is resonating, but I would certainly get a piece of fluorite if you can and use this in order to help develop and heal this part of yourself. All right. So I love you guys very much. Now I'm wrapping up. If you haven't liked this video, please do so, and I will see you soon. Bye. Hello, my beautiful pile number 2. You pick the change card here with the number 12 or the number 3. It says the frequency of change supports our ability to gracefully dance with the forever changing nature of reality, both inward and outward, so that we can appreciate the sweet release of the old and birth the new. So that's one thing that is constant, is change, right? Death, life, taxes, whatever the saying goes, change is constant in this world. All right, so let's take a look at the oracle cards. I have not looked at these. I just shuffled them, and I do want to put the caveat out there in case you skipped the beginning that if this triggers you in any sort of way, maybe it's not time for this reading, although this is a healing reading. So I do intend this to be a little bit uncomfortable for you if you're not, obviously understanding where your blocks and triggers are. Although my ultimate goal is to find healing here for you. So I do intend on delivering truths and energy. And if this doesn't resonate for you at all, or just something you don't want to hear, then you can go check out another reading or another reader altogether. Use your own intuition over mine. So something you will see, feel, or hear during this reading that can confirm to you this is your message. That's the only way for you to know whether this is going to be your pile, okay? So we have divine guidance. Beautiful. This looks like the moon, so divine feminine is coming through quite strong here. Divine guidance. We have hat. You will be playing a different role. Wow. And we have dogs, getting together with friends. Sun, moon, masculine, feminine. We have egg, success assured with good plans and hard work. Beautiful. We have speaking up, number 1. Your soul is guiding you to stand in your light and speak your truth. Beautiful. We have fire ant. This is fire energy. Aries, Leo, Sag might be prominent. Lots of yellow here as well, which is giving me that whole fire, Leo energy as well. Very strong. We have otter. And I believe this is water energy. So we have Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces coming through. Beautiful. I'm getting balance from these two, and interesting fire and water, polar opposites here. Wow. Okay. Gratitude. Fill me with gratitude for all you give. May I be a vehicle for you wherever you go. Lots of lotus flowers. Beautiful. And a hummingbird. And we have surrender to non-action. Now is the time to be still and not act. Simply breathe and focus on your own power. Let others come to you. She has a unicorn horn. That does speak to me, actually, because I bought this thing. And you guys will laugh at me, not knowing it was a unicorn horn. Well, not a real one, but after I bought it, I was like, oh my God, it's totally a unicorn horn. Why was I drawn to it? I just love the colors and I love the spirals of it, but I'm going to put that right here. I just thought it was absolutely cute and I could use as a wand, but somehow I keep diverting back to my rose quartz wand. Anyway, enough about me. Surrender to what is. Flow with what is instead of fighting it. When you can't change a situation, compassionately accepting it exactly as it is will bring you peace. Well, 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 I do feel connected to this pile. Beautiful, beautiful energy coming through. Self-esteem. I possess gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. Relationships. I am attracted to those people who serve my higher good. Absolutely. And illumination. Look at that beautiful sun energy. Okay. That's the sun I was feeling from here. More Leo energy, more divine masculine energy with illumination, clarity, awakening genius, 29, or the number 11. 11 is the ascended master's number. That is absolutely divine, beautiful number. Okay, 11 is also my twin flame number, 1111. So what are we going to do here? Well, I do feel like I want to pull some tarot as well, but I do want to kind of shuffle this to here. Perfect. Let's pull 2 cards for now and get a little bit more information in regards to this. So we are asking spirits for what are you consciously not aware of right now that is going to help you to heal, to move forward, either in a situation or just you're doing some healing and you're maybe blindly not seeing something about yourself, or maybe intuitively you know, but it's something you're needing to focus on. Maybe you don't see it clearly, you're needing confirmation. But what are you needing to know right now regarding yourself or maybe external to you that you need to be conscious of, that you need to be aware of? So Spirit, clear and concise message here for the great, I am feeling all of these, for the greatest and highest good of pile 2. All right, so I will ask Spirit to protect me as I channel this message for pile 2, and thank you so much, pile 2, for being here. I'm truly blessed. So we have the Ace of Wands in reverse. I'm going to leave them as they come out, and we have the 2 of Swords in the upright. That's indecision. We have the 5 of Wands in the reverse and the King of Pentacles in the upright. So I don't know if you're going to be able to see if I put this here, but I'm going to slide them right here. Maybe if I put it lower, you might be able to see them better. I think I'll put it right there. Okay, so give me a minute here just to tap into this energy. Okay, this is a really powerful energy that I'm picking up here. So I think it's been a struggle here to find a sense of balance. And when I say balance, it's more of when we transition from an old way of being and we go into a new way of being, it is difficult to remain upright. And we don't want to stay balanced as in keep old parts of ourselves and stuff if it doesn't serve us. But it's how do we transition into our new self and remain upright? Okay, so I hope this makes sense for you guys. So finding balance within self to remain upright is a challenge, because when we are shedding parts of ourself that is no longer helping us in this life, but we relied on it at some point and it made sense to us mentally at some point, and it led our life maybe at some point, and it was our truth maybe at some point, and it helped us to remain grounded and maybe even balanced in our life because we could remain upright, a part of society, going along in a healthy way, not seeming crazy. And it seemed okay. But the answer here is it's not okay to be in control or have the perceived illusion of control for extended periods of time, because all this is an illusion, because no one is in control. And if you feel you are, then you're probably complacent and you're probably stuck in a situation that doesn't allow you to grow and stretch and expand to the greatest version of who you can be, which is uncomfortable at times. But once we get past the discomfort and we stretch and we push and we morph and we change and we drop conditions and information that has been passed to us that we might have not thought twice about, or maybe it seemed right. But we really start to evaluate what this is, because there's a point in our life that we hit, and it could be anything at all. Some people it's trauma, some people it's, coming in contact with another individual that triggers something within us to reflect back to us that we're at a point in our life that doing the same old is no longer satisfying, that change is inevitable, that we must be in constant change in some way or another. And we could have gone 30, 40, 50, 60 years in the same sort of way and thought we were fine. And then our life gets turned upside down. And everything we thought we knew is not really the truth anymore. Because the truth is, your truth is what matters underneath what you've been conditioned to believe. Your truth. And in order for you to stand up for what that is, your authentic self, for you to fight for your authentic self, you have to understand what that is. And if you are a doer, and this is why I said this I can really tap into this energy, because if you are a doer, if you're led by making things happen, and if you've been busy creating, doing, integrating, functioning with society, building, dependable, doing what you need to do, people relying on you, and then all of a sudden you come into a situation where you cannot do anything about it. So maybe you have an accident. Maybe you have situations that you're having to deal with. You cannot run away. You have to deal with it in a way. And dealing with it is sometimes surrendering to non-action. I cannot change other people. I cannot force an outcome. I cannot do anything. And I don't know, I keep pointing at this otter, but I feel like this is the opposite of the ant. The otter is observing here. So the non-action is finding peace in this, because we'd go crazy, surrendering to what it is. Cannot change it. Love it for what it is. Embrace it for what it is. Accept it for what it is. Understand change is change. Understand that we are being led by the divine down a path that might seem very topsy-turvy and not make a whole lot of sense. Why am I feel out of control if this is supposed to bring me peace? Why does it feel the way it feels? Well, it does, because we're transitioning into a place of peace, because we're being divinely guided to find our authentic self and to have gratitude for having this experience. And so we go through a point where we could be cursing the divine, cursing the accident, cursing the fact that we have to suffer pains, have to experience a change so dramatic that it flips our world in some sort of crazy, chaotic way. And then when we get past it, we recognize how blessed we are to have an experience that brings us closer to who we are, closer to home, that guides us and ascends us higher to something we could have never have been had we not experienced what we did. Out of the pain, we then see. We then are illuminated to greater truths. For some of you guys, it could certainly be another person here. And for a lot of you guys, I feel there is support here from at least one other person here that can help you throughout your journey. And the journey is going to be your journey, so no one can do it for you, but there is support here. So this is getting together with friends. This can certainly be connecting with people that have gone through what you've gone through. And this, you will be playing a different role with this hat. If you've always, like I said, 30, 40, 50 years been in the same doer role, right? And it's served a purpose. It's like now wearing a hat, it feels weird. When you do things and you got to sit back, you feel like you're imploding in some way. Success assured with good plans and hard work. So this egg is giving me that whole rebirth. I feel like you're being reborn here into some individual that you have not been. And this might have taken you really looking at yourself, really working on yourself, really acknowledging your self-worth. Okay, now when we say self-worth, it doesn't mean you're this person who's like, oh, I lack self-confidence. I felt I was very confident. Okay, confident person. I could communicate. I was in sales. I couldn't be shy. All signs pointed to I was assertive. I was confident. But what I really feel with this confidence is confidently trusting yourself when you are in situations that leave you vulnerable, that make you feel helpless, that put you in a situation where you have no control, because we're not smarter than the divine. We can't outsmart our situations and use brains sometimes when it comes to energy and when it comes to this great path that we're on. We are not going to know the future. So we learn to look within and trust ourselves, to blindly trust us and the divine to lead us somewhere. That takes a lot of inner confidence to surrender some part of us to ourselves. And this is, I possess the gifts of the soul that benefit me and others, because once we do this, we're now a blessing to the world. We're now able to live in our truth. And when people see us living in our truth, walk and talk in our truth, it inspires other people to do the same. Break out of situations that are stuck, that don't allow people to expand. We sing relationships again. I'm attracted to those people who serve my higher good. This is painful because this means people who do not serve our highest good fall away. People who cannot meet us on our level fall away. Maybe where we were, again, 10, 20, 30, 40 years stuck, if these people don't evolve or understand, we tend to break away and start to pull in the people who actually serve our greater good. We're more drawn to that, and those people are more drawn to us. It makes more sense. Our true self is now illuminated in a way, and this awakening genius is all about our awakening and getting in tune with our gifts. We're no longer fighting, resisting, trying to make something happen, going against the river or against the grain. We're now flowing with the fact that we can't change a situation, or we have to accept something kind of as it is, and allow things to happen, allow us to bring to us what we want. But this is really the ability, I feel here, whatever ability you have within you that's dormant, psychic abilities, healing abilities, it is becoming awake. And the more conscious you are of you aligning with your truth, the more your gifts come out. Okay. So I feel like this message here is for some of you guys. I'm going to read Otter because I'm being called to read Otter, but this is coming out more in the practical way for some of you guys. If you haven't been following your passion, you're being called to follow that passion. Awaken the genius. And I feel it's there, and it's there. But if you're focused on what you can't do something about, if you're focused on something that is distracting you right now, situations, relationships, things that aren't aligned, then you're not allowing yourself to follow your passion, your pursuit, which is this creative thing that I feel you have. And it's also connected to your gift, your ability. It could be healing, it could be whatever it is, but I feel it's tied to some sort of healing attribute ability. Okay, it could be your psychic ability, it could be just your physical healing abilities, something here that you can do that is becoming more present in your life. But I feel you haven't been engaging in it, or maybe you haven't pulled the trigger on it because maybe you're still getting aligned. The intuition is highlighted with this moon here in the third eye. Moon again, divine feminine, we're seeing the moon. Okay, so the third energy is all about us seeing with our third eye, not with our eyes, not what we're seeing in front of us, but what we intuitively know. We can now see, even if it doesn't make sense, it's now felt within us. And so I feel this is going to bring you peace when you no longer need to see with your eyes what the truth is, because you feel it. You now can act based on your intuition. You no longer need, facts in the 3D world to set yourself free in some way. But I feel like the liberation you're seeking, the peace you're seeking, is in surrendering to what you can't work on and focusing on what you can focus on. And I feel like there is a lot of conflict, but I feel the conflict that's going on right now around you is you butting your head up against the wall on something that you can't change. Because I feel like with this Five of Wands in reverse, the conflict isn't really as big a conflict as you might be thinking it is. It's only going to be conflict when we resist, and what we resist persists. So you can come out of this conflict Okay, and the way you come out of this conflict, I feel, is more focus on self, more aligning yourself with relationships and people who meet your level of frequency, of energy, focusing on your creative pursuits that help support your, you know, your abilities, your dormant abilities that I feel involves your intuition and your psychic ability. And lean in on that, because this is going to provide you with the stability I feel you need, because I feel there is this change and you might feel not grounded right now. You might feel like you don't have stability. You might feel like your whole world is upside down. You might feel as though people are flaky. There's nothing to ground yourself to. You're not seeing how you can have a long-term solid ground to stand on unless you do something about it in a certain way that your mind understands it. And the universe is saying, forget everything that you know. You can't create that type of stability anymore. You've outgrown it. Things are changing. Now you have to accept what is, do non-action. This stability is going to come in way of great blessings that's going to be forever shifting in some way. It's not going to be the same stability you might have experienced in the past because you're no longer stagnant. It's now a sense of grounding and stability that you find within yourself that's constant. No matter what situation you're in, you're able to ground yourself and find stability. It doesn't matter if people are shady or you lose homes and cars and jobs. You're always going to find stability within self because you're on the path of finding this stability within self. You're able to depend and count on yourself. You're on that journey and it's powerful, okay? This is a very powerful energy. I feel you're on this road, but I feel like there's a need to surrender to something here that's going on. And I do want to read Otter because I feel there's something here. Give me a second. With the Otter, maybe that might help. Oh, why am I looking at air? I'm looking at water. Okay, water. Otter. Nope. It would help if it was alphabetical, but it is not. Okay, so unobstructed joy, playfulness, and contentment. Perhaps the most joyful creature within the animal spirit deck, the otter represents absolute bliss. Otter energy is the playfulness of a child available to us at any age. They have a giddiness and a reverence for life itself without the presence of doubt, worry, or skepticism. Imagine yourself with a little more otter energy. What would life look like? What would it take to bring you there? The otter card begs these questions and wants to transport us to that precious place as soon as possible. The celebration awaits. When in balance, full of love and needs nothing. When it's out of balance, it's gloomy, sighs, makes silly excuses. So beautiful. I love that I read this because you're so on your path to bliss. You're so on that path of, like I said, this being able to find the happiness regardless of what's around you. Okay, because I feel this childlike energy is the ability to find the contentment and find the joy and find the playfulness and everything great in the world around you without relying on situations, people having to make things happen, being stressed out, and whatever this energy is, okay? Even if this isn't the traditional fire ant energy, I am getting very stressed out by this. This is giving me flashbacks. So playfulness, calmness, surrender, illuminate yourself in ways that you haven't before. I'm going to read, before I read the crystal cards, which this is going to be your guidance, I do feel like I want a little bit more tarot because I did do this for one, although I didn't want to make these readings too long. You guys know me by now. My readings are always long because I don't stop until I feel like I've delivered. I feel like we need more. We just need a little bit more here because there's a reason this is coming out for you. And I think it had to do with that Ace of Wands in reverse, which is you pursuing some passion here, awakening your genius. So I will leave it open to Spirit to give us a little bit more guidance and clarity. What is pile 2 needing to hear right now that's going to help them? Why are they hearing this message? More clarity around what are they needing to be conscious of, and why this message. More information kindly. Spirit, thank you so much. We have the 5 of Swords in reverse. We have the 5 of Pentacles. We have the King of Cups in reverse. And we have the 10 of Pentacles. So, Page of Cups under that. Beautiful. Page of Cups is giving me Otter. This is innocent love, playfulness, opening that heart space from an unconditional place, being vulnerable and exposed. Okay. Very innocent. But all these cards are stressing me out because this is situations where we cannot control other people. Other people could be shady. Other things could hurt us. You know, people could be playing games in which we could get hurt. But what this is telling me is we no longer get stuck in 5 of Swords, because if people are 5 of Swords, it doesn't impact us. That's the journey you're on. It's like you can see right through it. You no longer get wrapped up in other people's games, or if they're trying to hurt other people, we know that they're hurt inside. It doesn't impact us. We see them as unhealed beings that are just trying to learn about themselves. So you get out of that state. You're no longer around 5 of Swords. And I feel like with the 5 of Pentacles, this is the transition. So you might be feeling right now out in the cold. I feel you do. I feel like you're still aligning. Like, where's my people? Why am I feel alone? Where's, you know, I don't know. I feel like you feel abandoned. You feel out in the cold. You feel like maybe you haven't found your bliss yet. And this is a tough feeling, you know. This is feeling unloved and like things aren't working out, and no matter what, it like feels very ugh. So I feel as though this is the transition, and the 5 of Pentacles always has the silver lining with it, because the beggars in the traditional 5 of Pentacles can go inside the church. You know, the 5 of Pentacles always gives us some hope of refuge, but we have to find it within ourselves. We can't focus on what doesn't work. We're then so abandoned and cold that we have no choice but to do what is left, which is turn inwards and find the beauty. And then we free ourselves from a 5 of Pentacles. So I feel you're still not free from a 5 of Pentacles. I feel like you feel left and abandoned. You could be felt left and abandoned by God, Spirit, by people in your life. Maybe you've been in situations where people are 5 of Swords, but now guess what? You're now left to look towards the only thing here that's going to be really your salvation, which is Spirit, because you haven't been abandoned by Spirit, but Spirit is gifting you with the key to saving yourself, because once you have this key, you can never lose it. You can always get yourself out of these situations and never find yourself in that situation, okay? As long as we stay in check. Now we have the King of Cups in reverse, and I feel like you are probably in a situation here where there's been a lot of blocks in emotions, and this could be people around you. This could be heart space needing to be completely feeling of our truth, our authentic self when it comes to our own emotions, our own self-expression, our own truth, what we feel on a soul level that's going to allow us to liberate ourselves. So I feel like you're still kind of in search of what this is, and it could be blocked right now. And the reason it is blocked is because we're transitioning into this. We're slowly having to identify, where are we blocked? Where are we not liberated? Where are we not able to see where emotions are blocked? If we're around people who are withholding, you know, whatever, love, expressing themselves, how does that impact us? And should it impact us? No, it shouldn't impact us, because we are our own being. We can still find peace and love and our own happiness here. And we just, you know, surrender to what is. Surrender to what is and shift our focus to what we could do. So here's that 10 of Pentacles. And I was seeing that with the King of Pentacles. This is the security, stability. This is building a legacy for self that will stand the test of time when we pass. And now, instead of maybe whatever sort of stability you had in the past that has changed and morphed, I feel like this is a long-term stability of sorts that truly can stand the test of time. because no matter what happens now, your world cannot get flipped upside down. This is going to stand the test of time. You're now truly knowing what it's like to find groundedness and stability in a way to build your life in a more solid way that can fluctuate with change, that isn't built on material things that could be pulled at any time or just that don't do it anymore for us. Okay, so Page of Cups, you're exploring. This is intuition as well. So let's pull some advice. We got cards falling off the bottom. If they want to come out, they will again. I'm going to ask spirits to give us some advice here for beautiful pile number 2. What is the advice? I'm dropping cards, lots of them. So I don't think those ones are going to be right either. Spirits, for pile number 2, can we please get some advice in way of crystals, some advice, some further guidance here for pile 2? What is going to help? Well, we got 2 stones here. So we got this one here, which is the black tourmaline. Tourmaline. Beautiful. So it says grounding. Yes, I'm getting that lots from the Pentacles with the King of Pentacles and the 10 of Pentacles, which I don't normally say grounding when I see that, but that's totally what I was getting. So it says grounding, protection, and detox. An energetic bodyguard, black tourmaline, acts as a psychic shield, protecting you from destruction, negativity, and psychic attacks. It is excellent at establishing boundaries and deflects unwanted mental energies. It is also used for grounding, stabilizing your foundation on earth, and making sure both feet are on the ground. With natural electric spark, black tourmaline absorbs fears and transmute those emotions into positive energy. Use this stone to balance your root chakra and detox any anxieties. Capricorn and Sun, which was in the King of Pentacles. But what I'm really feeling, I have to mention here, is that nobody can psychically attack you unless you're energetically psychic attacking yourself. Okay, I just want you to know that. So there is a need for you to stay grounded, and you could easily get swept up in parts of yourself that's dark, because we all have dark sides of ourselves. And when we get swept up with dark thoughts, we start to wander into places that make us feel like we're being attacked. So groundedness is very important, and I feel like the grounding here is going to be a mixture of things. And one of these could be getting black tourmaline, you know, and like I said, for pile 1, you can literally find this picture on the internet and cut it, you know, print it, cut it out, put it under your pillow, where this color could even help. It's like a shimmery black type color, but the best way would be to get the stone and maybe put it in your bag or in your pocket if you can, or under your pillow or in your room of sorts, because there is healing energies coming from this. And then we have this beautiful stone, which is Amazonite. So it says objectivity, filter, and truth. Filtering vibration is what Amazonite does best. From electromagnetic pollution, your thoughts and environmental influences, from electromagnetic pollution, your thoughts and environmental influences. So if you are prone to environmental sensitivity, Amazonite has your back. This is a great way to cleanse yourself from technology if you need a break from your devices. Amazonite encourages discernment, allowing you to be unbiased in your decision making. It objectively leads to the way, offering clarity on which choices are best for you. Detach from the outside in order to connect to the inside. We have Virgo and Uranus, or Uranus. So we were seeing the Two of Swords, indecision. Some of you guys might not know which decision to make and are flip-floppy here, okay? And I feel it is torn between, do I let something be and do non-action when I'm very used to doing action? And so we can't make a decision and we don't know what's right. There is a need for you to get grounded, a need for you to trust that you can make decisions that are best for you once you get more clear-minded, okay? So this is what they look like if you guys want to pick that up, but I feel like there is a need to allow yourself to transition, trust yourself. I feel more beautiful energy coming from this, although I do feel that frustration and times of struggle, times of indecision, times of not falling back in old ways. So just keep yourself in check. Know that you are wearing multiple hats, and multiple things can be true. You know, two sort of different things can be true at the same time, and they might be conflicting, but they could both be true. And that's hard for some people to accept. Okay, multiple things, two things, three things, five things could be true and can cause a lot of conflict. So our mind sometimes can't make sense of things like this, okay? And our mind tries to put things in box so we understand it, but sometimes we just non-action, we surrender, and we allow what is, and what can unfold unfolds. All right, beautiful pile number 2. I hope this helped you, and I will see you soon. Bye. Hello, my beautiful pile number 3. You picked the Gaia card, 28, or the number 10. It says the frequency of Gaia reminds us that we are infinitely connected to one another, just as we are to our great mother and to the universe that birthed us all. Earth energy, absolutely beautiful. So we ask Spirit here, when I shuffle the cards, something you aren't consciously aware of that might be getting in the way of your healing. So it could be something you might have not have been aware of for a very long time, or maybe it's something in your situation that's existing that you're not consciously seeing for whatever reason, because subconsciously there might be blocks. But this is all about healing and blocks and healing. So this reading might be a little uncomfortable, and you know, my intention is always to heal, deliver truths, what I see and feel. And so it could be painful. If it's painful, but it makes sense and resonates and you want to push through, then, you know, all power to you. And this is how healing happens. If it obviously doesn't fit and it feels very not comfortable for you in a way that you can sit through, then maybe it's not your reading, you know. Go check out another reading. But we will take a look at this and see what Spirit wants to communicate. Now, it's very important more than ever that you use your intuition over mine. So what will you see, feel, or hear so that you know that this is your reading? Because I can't do that for you, and only you will know. All right? So rely on your intuition. Here we have balance, masculine, feminine energy, the yin, the yang, the sun, the moon, balance, dark and light. Beautiful. And we have lightning. Control your anger or you will be sorry with lightning. Wow. That's pretty straightforward. Lily. Spiritual love. Wow. Lily is also all about peace and sensuality. And we have Dark Night of the Soul. My goodness. 42. Or the number 6, which is the Lovers, ironically, in the tarot. You are in the midst of a spiritual awakening. Wow. We have 46 with New Door, or the number 10 again coming out. 10s is all about preparing for the new as we wrap up the old. So New Door, your prayers have been answered and a new door is being held open for you. Isn't that beautiful? So 46 might be significant. 64, 24, 42. We have Hawk. This is air energy. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius could be significant. Hawks have very good vision. It's also an elevated perspective, ascension. Okay. We have Octopus. So water energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. We have acceptance. Radical acceptance in the now opens the flow. A lot of mind activity going on, which happens during a dark night of the soul, but we might be asked to relinquish any sort of thing that we know. Yeah, surrender negative thinking. You have control over your thoughts. When negative thoughts surface, say thank you for sharing and quickly refocus on positive affirmations. Yeah, I was really picking up before I flipped this. The thoughts could be, you know, the thought trap that you're falling into here. On a loop in some sort of way that happens during a dark night of the soul, and that could be very painful. Okay, so I'm going to read this again for you guys. You have control over your thoughts. When negative thoughts surface, say thank you for sharing and then quickly refocus on positive affirmation. That might work for some people. Maybe connecting to heart space might work. We have surrender to play. Take a break from overthinking a goal. Do something fun. Play is a time of recreation and rejuvenation. Very hard to play when we're in the middle of the dark night of the soul and stuck in some sort of thought pattern that has us stuck. Friendship. I understand that a friend in my life, I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. Okay. Balance coming out for a second time, you guys. Very significant. That is not coincidental that we are seeing this coming out. Well, that's all the dark night of the soul is about, is finding balance within yourself. It's masculine, feminine energy coming into balance. You're integrating your shadows, body and soul. Beautiful. 5, integrating body and soul. And look, the dragonfly, which is all about seeing through illusions. We're seeing beyond the veil. The veil could be the matrix. What we were believing was true at some point in time. We're now seeing through it. Lots of green here, giving me heart chakra as well. Very strong energy. 5, change. Dark night of the soul energy with the 5 here, because it could be, you know, everything changing, conflict. So let's pull 2 tarot cards to give a little bit more here before we tap into your energy. But we will ask Spirit for a clear and concise message here for the greatest and highest good of pile 3. Spirit, please protect me and pile 3 as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good. Thank you so, so much. And thank you so much, pile 3, for allowing me to tap into your beautiful energy and the energy around you. I am truly blessed. Thank you so, so much. So as I mentioned during the intro as well, if this isn't your direct energy, it could be energy that is around you predominantly at this time that comes through with your energy. So use your discernment, okay? Only you know if this is pertaining to you internally or your situation, surrounding people, whatever the case may be. Queen of Wands, beautiful energy. That's Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And we have the 9 of Pentacles. So I'm taking this as you finding yourself, okay? 9 of Pentacles. This is able to integrate yourself to the point where you are capable and standing on your own in all aspects, every way possible. So this is a big one. For a lot of you guys, you could have met someone and it could have been your counterpart in some way, okay? If you believe in twin flame, could have very well been triggered by someone in your life that you consider some sort of spiritual love that has triggered this sort of dark night of the soul, spiritual awakening, flipping your world upside down. For others of you guys, this could have just been a spontaneous thing that has happened within you, that your world's kind of upside down here because you're experiencing the dark night of the soul. And what this is everything that you made out to be who you are is having to be reviewed on the grand scheme of things, because we build identities for ourselves. We are mother, we are salesperson, we are doctor, we are, you know, the friend of the neighbor. We are all these things, but we really are not. We do these things, but who are we on the inside? So as we go through a dark night of the soul, which for some people, it could take weeks, and sometimes it could take months, and sometimes it could take years, okay? It's not one night and done. It is, even though it says the dark night of the soul, it is a transitional period where we are amidst our spiritual awakening, and what we're doing is purging everything that no longer serves us. Everything that was taught to us or told to us that is us is now being questioned and purged, and we can no longer feel the same about our old way of life. Everything is different, and this happens because we could be in a point of stagnancy, and spirit is intervening because we are on earth to grow. We are not stagnant beings. The one thing that's consistent is growth and change and death, and you know, death is certainly an illusion here, because when we die, it's the physical body, but we're just transitioning to a different state of being, different state of consciousness. So I'm not saying anything with death, but I mean, the dark night of the soul is releasing any sort of attachments we have to ideas of self, that identities and egos we've built. And as we do this, it is painful. It is probably more painful than experiencing a death of a loved one, because it's within us. So it's like losing ourselves, losing everything. This is a very painful experience, and it comes and goes. And it also has bouts of physical stuff that comes with it, and mental stuff that comes with it, and all sorts of stuff that comes with it. So you might want to go check out pile 3, because I feel 3 could be enmeshed in this in some way. It could be before or after, but I feel like, I don't know, the way I was picking this up is this kind of happens before we get to the state of acceptance, because we might still be resisting what is going on within us. And what's going on within us is we're balancing our masculine, feminine energies within us. We're ascending. We're now integrating shadow aspects of us, accepting truths of who we are, things we don't like or have not seen from within us because we were shoving deep down. So we might be very in tune, and I can speak to this, okay? Very in tune with ourselves. We could be very aware. We could be people who are very aware, very in tune, very open, very communicative, not really concealing anything, and you can still have a crap load of unhealed things within you that sits there dormant and you don't even realize. And it could just be a little thing that has happened that gets stored away in the memory banks, or that is told to you at any point in this lifetime, past lifetimes, that sits there. And what this does is it resurfaces, okay? And sometimes dark night comes with Kundalini awakening, which is another sort of aspect of awakening. It doesn't always come hand in hand, but spiritual awakening is one part that is painful, and Kundalini is another level all within itself. But these traumas and these dark shadow sides of ourself, they start to surface, and we can be devil's advocate and really question ourselves as to our intentions and where we're carrying these from, these thoughts, these ways of being. And once we look at ourselves from an objective point of view, not judging, but just an observer, we start to shed light in parts of ourselves that has been dormant and dark. So when we do this, we balance ourselves, okay? So we're balancing, and as we balance, we get more grounded and we get more close to our authentic self, and we come into union with our twin if we are talking twin flame journey. And if we haven't met our twin, we are certainly on the journey to finding a balanced partner. Once we are balanced and meet union within ourselves, if that's what we want, a lot of people reach union within self and they're absolutely fine being on their own. But the point being, until you're balanced within your own and able and capable of finding groundedness and recognizing you have shadows that aren't just going to go away, but you know how to be aware of them and integrate them. You don't need to get rid of them. You acknowledge them. You shed light on them. You learn to live and manage and not be reactionary based on subconscious things, right? Because when we act, 90% of when we're acting and doing things is all the subconscious. We're not even aware of why we responded the way we did or how we did. So I feel like there is a new door opening for you. And this new door, I really feel, is the new you, the balanced you. And although this feels like painful ass right now, okay, that's the only word I know to say to you, it sucks, it hurts, and it's drawn out, and then it peters out a bit, but it comes in dark, deep waves. I feel the lovers here again. I'm really getting twin flame here, and because I do a lot of readings, I could be drawing a lot of people who are on the twin flame journey, okay, and it's painful. So only those of you guys who are connecting. So Gaia, though, is earth energy, and this is talking about how we're all interconnected in some way. And for those of you guys who are more evolved on your journey, and it doesn't have to be twin flame, it could just be the journey of spiritual enlightenment, the more we understand that how we're connected, the more we feel joy and bliss where we might have felt separation, anxiety, and unloved, because we no longer feel separated from other people, from our twin, from love. We are love. We are connected to Mother Earth. We're so connected. We find joy. We find peace within ourselves. And that is beautiful, because that means we don't need anybody else. We have our wholeness, our completeness, but it is a journey, and it takes a while to get through that threshold. And I don't feel like it is just a door that you turn and you walk through. I feel like it's a journey, but it opens doors as you go through this journey, different aspects of you, and all of our journeys are different, and it's continuous. There's no end game, really. There's no sort of end point. You continuously go through this journey, but you get more and more grounded, more and more balanced. And with this control your anger, you will be sorry. I'm really feeling this as a lot of you guys got struck by a spontaneous awakening. Okay, and it could be meeting your twin flame. So I don't know how deep I should go with that, but when we meet our twin flame or somebody who we have a deep soul connection with, it triggers something within us energetically that we cannot turn off, like a bolt of lightning. And some people have spontaneous awakenings, exactly like a bolt of lightning. Then we need to learn how to control things within ourselves, and not the illusion of control that we use here in the Matrix, but control is, how do we surrender? That is control. How do we surrender to acceptance? That is the control. And why it says you will be sorry is because when we start resisting and trying to find ways to use our mind to outthink the divine and try to understand what's going to happen, we start to feel more crazy and pressure and depressed because we resist. Resistance is in the mind. Once we don't need to think about it, and from a logical perspective, we get a higher perspective, a higher view of what's going on here. We're just an observer. We're watching. We're impartial. We start to accept. We surrender to whatever these thoughts are. We don't get stuck in them. One thing that helps me with this process is if we're having a repetitive thought, we say thank you, and I've already had this thought, and I've already turned it every single way I could. I turned every single stone. I did not come up with an answer, or I came up with multiple answers, which made me more confused. So there's nothing new that I'm able to come up with or create, because the situation that maybe you're in or circumstance has no new evidence, has nothing new to deal with. So all you can do is bring in the thought. If you want to think about it, because you haven't, you think about it, and then you put it away. And if it repeats, you say thank you, but I've already had this thought. So we don't repeat the negative thinking. And if we are negative, we say thank you for your insight, but I think there might be a more positive way to see this. And you could do the opposite and think of something positive, but I don't think staying in your head's the answer. I think if a negative thought comes in, get out of mind and focus on heart, okay? And focus on play. So it's like, if we start getting into but this, but that, and worrying and thought, then it's like, what can I do right now? Can I go run around outside? Can I go to the park? Can I play with my kids? Can I, whatever, listen to music, whatever I'm going to do here. Now, we're not doing this as a way to distract ourselves from what the work we need to do. But if we've already had these thoughts, then we trust that when we play and when we're in the moment, other things will come up and give us more insight. Different thoughts that now we're able to work with and ascend. And now these are more important than repeating the same thoughts in our mind. And the more we surrender to play, the more we sort of accept where we're at, and the less sort of in our head we become. We start to see from a higher perspective. I do feel there is a spiritual love here, okay? But I feel like if there isn't a connection here with another, which I'm seeing almost everywhere, it is the connection within self. It is the spiritual love of self that allows you to see things from a different perspective here. It's more of seeing with the heart, seeing with the the crown, which is our divine knowing. It's not coming from our worldly thoughts, what we've been conditioned to think. And then we become balanced here with our body or soul. And I feel it's interesting mind isn't on here, because I think you've already developed sort of your mind. You know, you're probably already an experienced, intelligent person. You don't need your mind in this. I think what you need to experience here is, I mean, you could do what you want, but with the dark night of the soul is, how do I connect spirit, the divine, the greater essence of my being with my body to find peace? Listen to my heart. Nothing to do with mind. This is cutting through illusions. And all the illusions is the matrix. What we were told, what we believe, what we think. Some of our values even are matrix led. Okay, most of them. Because spiritual beings intuitively just know. There's an energy here that we need to surrender to. And there's also an energy that we need to surrender with. And the surrendering of is the thinking, being in mind, and having to think we can control something or outsmart something or do multiple things at once. So a lot of busy people find it very hard to just surrender and do nothing. But sometimes we got to surrender and do nothing. And that came out loudly in pile 2. But I do feel as though there is a beautiful energy coming from you with this Queen of Wands and this Nine of Pentacles, because I feel like you are somebody who is to-do, who is got their ish together, right? Very confident, very beautiful, physically attractive, very independent. This is giving me heavy confidence and independence. So when we have confidence and independence, it is the bigger blow here with the dark night of the soul, because everything we knew is now upside down. Everything we relied on, which was on self, because we weren't relying on other people, we were relying on getting things done, and we were confident with it. It's like everything we know is now out the window because we have no control in this journey of sorts, okay? But we can take steps towards what we feel is pulling us towards our authentic self, and that gives us more control, or at least it pulls us in the right direction, okay? Because control, again, is an illusion. We never really have full control because of change. Everything is always changing. So as long as things are changing, there's never control. Anything can happen at any point. So how do we break free from our human mind in order to accept that things are changing, in order to accept that we're not who we have said we are? That is surrendering to this process, allowing ourselves to integrate ourselves, our new self, okay? So we're going to get some more clarity here with the tarot. I will ask Spirit to give us a little bit more. Anything that pile 3 needs to hear that I might have missed, that is going to provide more clarity to them in this reading. Thank you, Spirit, for this clear and concise message. Anything further they're needing to hear that's going to help them and make things consciously aware so that they can heal and move forward with their situation and in their life. All right, we have the Chariot in reverse, Cancer energy, 6 of Pentacles. Both of these are balance cards. Balance, 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 balance. And we have Judgment in reverse. And we have the Queen of Wands coming out again and now in reverse. So what I'm really seeing here, pile 3, is obviously the balance coming through kind of the strongest here. And as long as Chariot is in reverse, this is a stuckness, okay? And the Chariot's a major arcana because this is when the divine, the universe, intervenes in our life to get things moving in order to get us to go towards victory, in order to move us forward throughout life. Okay, but it's the Chariot. It's a little bit more than, let's say, 8 of Wands, which is more minor arcana. It's movement as well, but Chariot is like an unstoppable force because it is outside of ourselves. It's Mother Nature bringing in a circumstance that has us moving, and how we move through this is going to be a mixture of how we react, because we have free will. So This card is all about integrating the shadow and the light aspects of ourselves in order to remain balanced as we navigate through to get through to victory. Because if we're imbalanced, the chariot topples over and we can't go through. So how do we stay balanced? How do we move through? We have to integrate parts of ourselves that we might not have seen or we might not be able how to handle. But once we recognize and, like I said, shine our light here, we are now able to see this about ourselves and remain on a kind of steady with getting through this. It is either stuck or reckless right now. Okay, so it could mean both things, and it could be multiple things for you guys depending who you are. And if it's reckless, this means you're really leaning in on one sort of aspect, which could be your mind. So you're out of balance. That's why balance is screaming here. You're constantly maybe trying to think of how can you stay upright? How can you move forward? How can you do this? How can you, who knows how, because this is energy and this is a spiritual awakening. There is no guidebook to the hows. It's more of trusting your energy, your intuition, and the divine to lead you. Okay, and sometimes we're navigating blind. And if you feel stuck, that's the other energy that you might be feeling. Maybe you're not recklessly leaning in on something, but you're just stuck. You're not sure how to move forward. Well, how you do this is you then shine your light on all aspects of you to gain better insight so you can start moving forward. Because then I feel like you're able to bring balance, and then you can start to energetically invest in areas of yourself that do need more focus. Okay, so there are parts of you here that needs to be developed, and see how these scales are kind of imbalanced right now. So maybe you've always been kind of somebody who has been logical, or maybe you've been somebody who's been very focused on the practical, you know, building yourself up in some way. And I do feel that with the Queen of Wands and the Nine of Pentacles. You might be somebody who's, you know, always worked or always been involved in some sort of, I don't know, putting your energy in something practical, but maybe it's time to focus on enlightenment. You know, how do you feed that spiritual side of yourself? But there's something about now being more balanced, bringing spirituality into your life, not being solely feeding the physical or the matrix. Now we're seeing ourselves as a complete being. So this is going to require honest truths with judgment, and this is in reverse. Judgment is also a major arcana, and it's the one right before the very last one. The last one's the World, which is a successful, you know, conclusion. And that's where the Chariot's trying to take us to get to wrap up some sort of cycle here. But we're in reverse, which means we're not seeing everything clearly just yet. And I'm not talking about with your physical eyes. And maybe this is it. You're waiting to see something so your mind can make sense of it. But what Spirit is saying is whatever the truths are here, it's going to be felt, and it's going to come from within. And then no spiritual person, me, tarot reader, whoever, is going to be able to tell you your own truth. They can't. Only you can tell yourself your own truth. And you'll know it. You'll know it, know it, know it. Okay, but right now you don't know it. You don't see it because you have to do the work in seeing where these shadows are and shining your light in there. And once it becomes visible, then the horns blow. Then you got to make a decision. Do I want to continue living in the same way? Which, after you have a spiritual awakening, I mean, most people don't live in the same way. They can't. They can no longer unsee what they see in their mind's eye. But right now, there's some sort of cognitive dissonance because sometimes it's easier to cling onto the things that we find comfort in. And some people stay like this for a while, you know, at their own pace. I can't tell you to change or not to change. And like I said at the beginning, this reading could be hurtful, but judgment in reverse, there's a need to become honest. And this is also, when I read this card, I always say ego gets in the way. And what is Dark Night of the Soul? It's shedding of ego. It's the ego death. And there's egos that we have, multiple egos, different aspects of us, lots of different aspects of us that we need to look at and shed. And I mean, sometimes we can shed a piece of us and then carry on our way, and then another piece comes out, and another, and so on and so forth. So there might be, you know, a few things kind of on the surface that you deal with and feel a lot better. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's enough for you. I don't know how much you want to get down your path here, but it is in reverse. So we're not shedding egos, and this is maybe showing a level of resistance, which then causes more pain. So we need to embrace and accept that we got to get out of the mind in order to shed things, see a truth, and allow it to be without judgment, and just observe this, okay? And then as we observe, more and more will come out, and more will come out, and we don't judge ourselves. We allow ourselves to shed. We allow ourselves to purge. We allow things to kind of come up as they do. And I feel like right now it could certainly, the Queen of Wands, certainly another ego card here, okay? And I feel, and this one was coming out in reverse as well. I feel like you are shedding ego, but I feel like maybe your confidence here is taking a big blow, maybe for the first time ever, right? And this is also about somebody wearing a mask, but I don't think it's a mask trying to pretend on purpose to be hurtful or manipulative in any way. It's like a mask of who we are. And the mask is our ego. The mask is I'm telling myself I'm XYZ, the doctor, the wife, the sister, well, it could be masculine too. Whatever role you're playing in society is a mask. It's not who you are. Who you are is inside yourself. It's more than this earthly person can, attribute some sort of name or role to you. So anyway, I feel like there's more here that is trying to reveal itself, and you might be fighting, okay? And maybe you don't know you're resisting, but when you start trying to conjure up how to understand something with your mind, that is resistance. When you don't just let things flow naturally in a way to, if you want to cry about it, cry about it. If you want to feel however you feel about it, watch how you're feeling, and then question yourself and be like, why do I feel this way right now? Without feeling like you're doing anything wrong here, or I don't know, maybe you don't have a safe place to allow yourself to, process this dark night of the soul. So some people are really blessed, and they have people around them who just support them and love them unconditionally. And if someone hasn't gone through this, it's very difficult because they don't understand, why you're different. Why are you different? Why do you not do the same things you did before? You might not care for any of that anymore. And they might just accept you, or they might try to challenge you. But just know that it is a natural thing here for you to, while you find balance, and maybe to question your confidence. But I have confidence that you're going to find a way through this, and that the suffering here is limited, because as long as you're resisting, you're going to be feeling it, but that only goes so far, right? So I hope this helped you guys. Before I wrap up, actually, I do want to pull one of these, because this is the guidance, and we're pulling from the Crystal Grid Oracle cards. So this crystal is going to give you guidance, and maybe you can get this crystal. Maybe you can print out a picture of this crystal. If you can't get the crystal outright, that might help. Put it under your pillow or near your nightstand or in your purse or something here. Maybe you can get some jewelry in this stone. Wow. So we have Auralite 23. Clarity, focus, and higher awareness. Containing 23 different mineral energies, Auralite 23 can promote undeniable clarity and razor-sharp intuition. An ancient stone, Auralite 23 is especially talented in assisting with past life and ancestral healing. It enhances metaphysical abilities, raising the bar on your innate superpowers. Most of all, Auralite 23 can help you appreciate the human experience, and that we are all multidimensional beings. By going within and becoming aware of your inner self, you will be able to show up more fully as your authentic self and who you are meant to be. That's what this whole reading was about. Aquarius, Pisces, Neptune. I love it. And you know what came through this card when I was reading that? Interconnectedness, multi-dimensional here, okay? Universal birthright is for you to be your authentic self. So this is what the stone looks like. You might want to find this. And as you go through your spiritual awakening, you might get heightened third eye here with your intuition and your ability to heal in different ways. So that is very common here. And gradually, I wouldn't push myself if I were you, right? Because we might see things with our third eye that we're not prepared to see. And that causes more crazy. Okay, well, I say crazy is because sometimes when we see things that we're not prepared to see, we start to try to put logic to it, and then we haven't shed enough ego, and then our ego gets in the way, and then we start to ride on negative thinking and use egos as drivers and start getting more messed up. So we don't want to get messed up. We want to surrender thought and find a peace. And if our intuition comes through as our third eye, and as we find more of our abilities, we lean in on that. We allow it to go at a natural pace. We don't force anything. We don't need to understand more than we know, and we're okay with peace. And then we enjoy our journey, and hopefully we come into balance here with another, if that's the sort of aim you have, although this should not be the aim, but it is sort of looking like that for some of you guys who are on the journey of spiritual love. But the spiritual love really is within self and finding the balance. Okay, so now I'm wrapped up. If you haven't liked this video, please do so. I hope this helped you guys. I love you guys very much. So if you are in need of a private reading or just need to talk to someone, you can certainly send me an email. You can book through my website. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. And thank you so much. I will see you soon. Bye-bye.